Students, am I audible to you?
Yes.
Okay. So on the last turn, we have discussed about the property of the organization. We have also discussed about the principles of the organization. Okay. Now, in the continuation of that, today we will discuss the types of the organization. So before going to the types of the organization, first we have to see that there are various type of a business organization. Okay, so that is also important to know. So among the form of a different type of a business organization, first type of organization, that is known as a sole proprietorship, मतलब कि एकल स्वामित्व, that is the sole proprietorship. So this is the simplest and the oldest form of a business organization. A business that is owned by only one person is called as a single ownership or a sole or individual proprietorship enterprise. And an individual exercise in this type of proprietorship, an individual exercise and enjoys the ownership rights of his own interest. There are various features of this type of a business organization, like individual ownership, one man effort, uh, enterprise and owner entity is the same. All risks related to the business are covered by one person. All profit after deduction goes to the one person. Minimum legal formalities, only few governmental regulations to be followed, unlimited liabilities in case of a loss, the entire debt of the loan is recovered from the assets of the owner. Ownership and the management have to uh, and that is in this type of ownership or this type of the proprietorship is generally used in you have seen in many shops where the owner is the only one, there is no any enterprise type of a thing there. So that is the thing. Now if we talk about that what are the merits, so merits are like this type of the sole proprietorship business is easy to formulate and closer. There is a flexibility in the management. So this flexibility, the change in the product or the service or in the pricing can be easily controlled. Extremely easy in decision making, highly motivated due to the single ownership. All profit goes to the one person. So in that case, the person is highly motivated towards the work, full control of the business activities. There is a trade secrecy to maintain. There is a no compulsion to publish the account. Personal touch of excellence, simple and less complicated operation. Okay. जो छोटे छोटे ओनरशिप होते हैं वो सब इसी तरीके के होते हैं, जैसे कि किसी शॉप का ओनरशिप हो गया, ठीक है, स्वीट शॉप का ओनरशिप हो गया. सो दे हैव ऑल द कंट्रोल्स, दे हैव देयर ओन सीक्रेट, दे डोंट हैव टू prepare means a long account type thing. So that is the benefit. If we talk about the limitations of this proprietorship, so limitations like due to the financial capacity of a sole ownership, the resource can only arranged by that owner. Limitation of the managerial skills, because humans have a limitations. मतलब एक कोई आदमी है वो एक ही तरीके से सोच सकता है, ठीक है. जब बहुत और जनरली जो सिंगल ओनरशिप होती है, तो इन दैट केस इट इज सम टाइम उनको जो ओनरशिप होता है उसको टाइम ही नहीं मिलता कि वो बिजनेस के बारे में और कुछ सोचे कि कैसे उसको वो करना है. सो इन दैट केस there is a limitation of the excellence in all spheres such as production, marketing, finance and licensing etc. तो अगर ओनर ही लगा रहेगा तो ओनर कभी इस सब बारे में सोच ही नहीं पाएगा. या इसके लिए उसको टाइम नहीं मिल पाएगा. So this is a limitation. In case of the failure, loss is only covered by the owner. Also, there is a lack of the continuity in case if that owner becomes ill or busy in some family affair, so business has to close down. ठीक है, जैसे कि किसी भी शॉप को आप ले सकते हैं. Also, the absence of the specialized knowledge in more than one or two areas of the business operation. So one person have a specialized knowledge only in a certain areas. Also, unduly stress owner due to variety of the jobs. So whenever the business such type of the ownership is small, so the owner can control. Whenever the business expands, जब वो काम बढ़ जाता है, so उसकी वजह से ओनर पे स्ट्रेस आ जाता है कि हाउ टू मैनेज द थिंग. Generally, due to the work pressures, limited capital and sole ownerships are exploited by the big industries. So जब ऐसा होता है तो जो बड़े इंडस्ट्रीज होते हैं वो उसका फायदा उठा लेते हैं. Either they buy that business or they can defame that business. Means there are various business strategies are followed there. Also, comparatively less stable. So the single proprietorship or single ownership businesses stability is very less in such type of the businesses. Generally, due to the competition, if the owner is get any type of the loss, physical, mental, body loss, so such type the business is immediately closed. So this is also there. Limited scope of economize the scale. So in single ownership businesses, there is not any process management, or there is not any type of process programming or type of a thing. So to reduce the cost of the product, to economize the scale, that is not possible. So this is the limitations of the single ownership. Similarly, another type of the ownership which is very common, and you also heard about that, that is the partnership ownership. So partnership is an association of 2 or more persons up to 20 persons. मतलब 2 या 20 तक के लोग जो हैं, to carry on business as a co-owner for sharing profit. They put their money, ability, skill, knowledge, etc. for the purpose of running an enterprise and earn profit. Partnerships are based upon the partnership agreement. These agreements are generally written form, and it defines the authority, rights, and duties of each partner, including the percentage of profit sharing. It comes handy in case of the disagreement among the partners. Partnership become necessary when the size of the business enterprise grown beyond the certain limit. The two major differences from the sole partner proprietorship are like number of the owners are more than 1 but less than 20. More capital asset, diversified expertise are available due to the more than one owner. So there are various features in this type of organization that is based on the partnership. So like that, more than 1 or less than 20 partners are needed. Also, there must be an agreement between the partners that is in the written form. Joint liability on all the partners. Success of the partnership firm is possible when there is the full trust and honesty and sharing of information, transaction, and client dealing. Registration of the partnership firm is not necessary. However, the registered with the registrar of the firm, legal complications are minimal. So registration जरूरी नहीं है, पर अगर registered होता है तो अगर dispute होगा तो easily उसको resolve कर सकते हैं. Time span of the partnership firms depend upon the
Hello?
हाँ yes हाँ
सर स्लाइड चेंज नहीं हो रहा है.
हाँ तो अभी हम उस बारे में बता ही नहीं रहे हैं. ठीक है. If you are not
Okay.
hearing about that what I'm talking, I am talking about the forms of the organization. ठीक है. तो forms of the organization में slide change नहीं हो रहा है. I am just discussing that what are the things are there. Okay. When I will tell you about the types, then this slides will be changed. Okay. Then so time span of the partnership firms depend upon the will of all the partners. Also, merits of the partnership firms. There are various merits like uh, ease of the formation because it is very easy by agreement or a partnership deed. Large pooling of financial resources due to more number of the capital members, the all the members input giving their resources to there, so there is a large volume of financial resources as compared to the sole proprietorship. There is a sharing of a managerial skills by the partner. There is a collective business decision of by the partner. So in that case, decision is very sometimes the decision is very good in favor of the organization. There is a flexibility or in change due to lesser number of the mutually interactive members, secrecy due to lesser members, active interest by the member due to the major share in the capital and direct risk in business dealing, check and control due to the watchfulness of all partners. The interest of the partner is fully protected. In case of dissatisfaction, any partner can press for dissolution of the deed. So these are the merits. There are certain limitations like limited capital as compared to the joint stock company, unlimited liability in case of a dissolution of the firm, uncertainty of the existence due to death, bankruptcy, or demand of a partner, risk of a sharing, loss due to the other partner's misdeeds. So this partnership is type of organization is having a limitation that all the things are depend on the faith. If there is a faith between the partners, this type of a partnership becomes successful. Lack of public and institutional confidence is generally this type of partnership organizations when they become bigger, so there is a lack of public and institutional confidence because such type of the partnership organized organization doesn't publish their accounts in the public, and difficulty to withdraw from the firm because generally these partnership is happening whenever these are happening on the paper. So sometime when the business is running in a good manner, so it is difficult to any partner to withdraw from that in between. So that is the thing there. Along with that, partnership के अलावा there is another type of organization, that is the joint stock company. Okay. So the most important feature of the joint stock company is that it is an association of an individual called shareholder who join together. They agree to supply capital divided into the share and want to share profit. It is that form of the business activity which is most suited for large scale business. It does not suffer from the limitation of a capital management as in case of a partnership firm. Sufficient number of the skilled person and experts may be employed to run the business uh, professionally. The company is managed by the board of the directed, elected by the shareholders who make the policies, take decision and run the company. There are two type of a joint stock company. First is the private limited company and second is the public limited company. ओके. सो जो बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होते हैं जैसे कि अगर हम कंस्ट्रक्शन फील्ड की बात करें जैसे कि हमारा L&T है, ठीक है, GMR है, ये सब जो कंपनीज हैं दे आर प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनीज और द प्राइवेट पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी. So let us see that what are the private limited companies. So private limited companies is established by an article of association. और आर्टिकल ऑफ एसोसिएशन में कुछ फीचर्स होते हैं जैसे कि restriction on the right of the member in transferring the share. Disease also decides the number of its member, which can be between 2 to 50. Restricts the involvement of a public other than its member to subscribe the share. A private company must get its account audited. A private company has to send a certificate along the annual return to the registrar of joint stock companies, stating that it does not have a shareholder more than 50, excluding the employee and ex-employee shareholders. इसके अलावा प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी मतलब कि प्राइवेट लोगों की कुछ पर्टिकुलर प्राइवेट मेंबर्स की कंपनी जिसमें कि रिस्ट्रिक्शंस होते हैं कि 2 से 50 मेंबर होंगे या पब्लिक इन्वॉल्वमेंट होगा या नहीं, सच टाइप ऑफ एंड शेयर जनरली इन दिस टाइप्स ऑफ द कंपनीज shares cannot be open to the public. Then after that public limited company is there. It is also this type of the public limited company is also established by an article of the association. और इसमें भी कुछ फीचर्स होते हैं जैसे कि देयर इज नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन द राइट ऑफ द मेंबर इन ट्रांसफरिंग द शेयर. कोई भी मेंबर अपना शेयर कहीं भी ट्रांसफर कर सकता है. पुट्स नो अपर लिमिट ऑन द नंबर ऑफ द मेंबर. मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ द शेयर होल्डर्स इज 7. कीप द कंपनी फ्री टू इनवाइट पब्लिक to subscribe the share in the denomination of 10, 100, etc. as per share. It has to hold a general meeting of its shareholder every year. The company must get its account audited every year by the registrar auditor. The the public limited company has to file its registrar to joint stock companies documents such as consent of the director, list of the director's contract, along with the memorandum of association. So generally most of जो कंपनी होती है वो पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी टाइप की होती हैं. जैसे कि आप रिलायंस का ले सकते हैं या जियो का भी केस ले सकते हैं. So in that the public is invested the money, so all the things they can invest in form of the shares. जैसे जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना पब्लिक लिस्टिंग, जब स्टॉक मार्केट में पब्लिक लिस्टिंग होती है. तो पब्लिक लिस्टिंग कंपनी में पब्लिक जो है इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग करते हैं शुरुआत में, दैट इज नोन एज आईपीओ. सो आफ्टर दैट दिस टाइप ऑफ द कंपनी फॉर्म. देन इस जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी, ये जो पब्लिक लिस्टिंग कंपनी है इसके कुछ एडवांटेजेस भी हैं और डिसएडवांटेजेस भी हैं. Advantages of this type of companies are that a huge amount of money is raised. It associates limited liability. Shares are transferable. Company's life is not affected by the death or life of the stakeholder or shareholder. Services of specialist can be obtained. Risk of loss is divided among the shareholder. तो जब कोई शेयर खरीदता है तो रिस्क भी जो है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली शेयर उस पे मिलता है. जैसे आपने 500 इन्वेस्ट किए और कंपनी डूब गई तो आपको भी नुकसान होगा और बाकी जो भी शेयर होल्डर्स हैं उनको नुकसान होगा. अगर फायदा होगा तो सबको होगा, नुकसान होगा तो सबको होगा. तो दीज आर द एडवांटेजेस. Disadvantages like a good deal of legal formalities is required. So बहुत सारी लीगल फॉर्मेलिटीज को फॉलो अप करना पड़ता है. कंपनी इज मैनेज बाय द बिग शेयर होल्डर्स ओनली. जो बड़े शेयर होल्डर्स हैं वही मैनेज करते हैं जनरली जब अब इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग होती है. सो दे विल ऑफर ऑन लेस देन 49% शेयर टू द पब्लिक. तो या उससे ज्यादा ही होती ताकि जो है कंपनी जो है वो पब्लिक उसमें ना चली जाए क्योंकि दैट इज मैनेज बाय द लार्ज शेयर होल्डर्स. Highly paid official manage the whole show. They cannot have a high interest in the company as the proprietor can have. So हाँ एक और ये चीज होती है कि when the company is public listing, so जो workers होते हैं वही उसको manage करते हैं. Stakeholder और shareholders they can enjoy the benefits. So उनका जो एम्प्लॉयज होते हैं उनका इंटरेस्ट जो है कंपनी की ग्रोथ की बजाय अपने सैलरी की तरफ होता है. सो दैट इज द लिमिटेशन इज देयर इन दिस टाइप ऑफ कंपनीज. समटाइम द पीपल कमिट्स द फ्रॉड and because there is a divided responsibilities, so lack of companies growth थोड़ा सा देखा जाता है लोगों में. ठीक है, until unless जो है वो properly manage करी जा रही हो. Along with that, there is another type of organization, that is the public sector undertaking, that is known as the PSU. So public sector undertaking enterprises that is owned by the state government or the central government. The aim of such enterprises is not to earn the profit but to prevent the unbalanced growth of the industry and ultimately attain self-reliancy. Such enterprises are accountable for their financial results to the parliament and state legislature. So such type of the organization have an objective to equitable distribution of a wealth, balanced economic development of the country, educate employment opportunity, speedy agricultural and industrial development, self-sufficiency of the nation in the modern technology, and these are PSUs act as a role model for the private sector for avoiding the exploitation of the workers. Okay, so that's why the PSUs are mandatory. So based on that, there are the certain merits, like public sector helps the growth of those industries which requires huge amount of the capital. Public sector helps in implementation of economic plans and enables them to reach to the target. Due to the absence of the project motive in the public sector, the consumers are benefited by the greater, better and cheaper products. जो पब्लिक सेक्टर होता है वो केवल वही वर्क करता है जिसमें कि प्रॉफिट हो, बट पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग वर्क्स फॉर ऑल दोज वर्क्स जिससे कि पब्लिक का फायदा हो. ठीक है, उसका पर्पस प्रॉफिट कमाना नहीं है. पब्लिक सेक्टर का जो पर्पस है, मतलब पर्पस था, सॉरी, जो पर्पस था वो ये था कि पब्लिक को बेनिफिट हो, ना कि इंटरप्राइजेस को बेनिफिट हो. बट थिंग्स आर चेंज एज द owners or government is changed. So there are public sector gives the lot of job opportunities, and it is also good for to encourage the industrial growth in a certain developing regions of the country. There are certain demerits, like public sector can rarely attain the efficiency of a private enterprises. There is a wastage and inefficiency that can be reduced. उसको reduce किया जा सकता है, पर inefficiency होती है due to the heavy administrative expenses. जो most of the जो capital है वो उसको run करने में चला जाता है, और इसका burden is come on the taxation on the public of India. There is a too much interference of the government and politician, delay in the decision. Due to due to phenomena of the public enterprises, incompetent persons may occupy the high level. This is also there, and worker are generally becomes lazy as compared to the private sector. So ये demerits हैं. इसके अलावा एक joint ventures भी होता है. तो joint venture, construction joint venture combines the certain attributes of one venture with complementary feature of the another for the purpose of engaging in a specific individual or the multiple construction undertaking. It can either by the one team project or long term basis. The enterprises is co-owned and co-managed by the joint venture partners. So whenever two or more organizations are working together for a longer duration, so there becomes a joint venture. जैसे कि for example there is a joint venture between NTPC and the Bihar government, so that is known as a BRBCL, so something like that. So उसमें NTPC is contributing there and state government is also there. So that is the means बिहार गवर्नमेंट का एक एंटरप्राइज और एक पब्लिक अंडरटेकिंग दोनों मिल के काम करते हैं, तो वो एक ज्वाइंट वेंचर बना लेते हैं जिसमें कि दोनों ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के लोग काम करते हैं। सो इस तरीके के फॉर्म्स होते हैं, मतलब इस तरीके से जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होते हैं इस तरीके के फॉर्म्स में पाए जाते हैं। नाउ कम टू द टाइप्स। टाइप्स बेसिकली टाइप्स कहेंगे या हम कहेंगे कि स्ट्रक्चर है ये बेसिकली हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का। So it is refers to the organizational and administrative partners. The organizational structure is about how to use one of the basic resource people and how to facilitate overcoming the communication barriers at the organizational interface. So the distribution of authority and responsibility in any undertaking amongst its members depends upon the type and magnitude of a work involved. तो इसके बेसिस पे जो है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है वो लाइन एंड मिलिट्री ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है, लाइन एंड स्टाफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है, फंक्शनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है। ठीक है, तो हम लोग देखते हैं वन बाय वन। सो दिस इज द line and military organization structure. So this type of the structure of the organization, the line of the authority is direct form from one level to another level of the hierarchy. This is similar to the structure in armed force. Therefore, this type of the structuring is known as a military or a line organization. So in this you can see there is a one chief project manager and under him all the things are there like resident engineer 2। ये रेजिडेंट इंजीनियर के अंदर भी ये सारी चीजें होंगी, बट इस ग्राफ में इसको इस प्लॉट में दिखाया नहीं गया है। तो इसके अंडर में असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर 1 2 है, असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर 1 के अंदर जूनियर इंजीनियर 1 जूनियर 2, इसके अंदर फोरमैन। सिमिलरली इस वाले असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर के नीचे भी जूनियर इंजीनियर 1 जूनियर 2 होंगे, इसके नीचे भी जूनियर इंजीनियर 2 के नीचे भी फोरमैन 1 एंड फोरमैन 2 होंगे। Now let us see the advantages of this line and military organization. So this type of organization, this is suitable for small organization undertaking small construction activities, for example subcontractor, petty contractor executing simple construction assignment. This is suitable for labor intensive organization. Assignments are executed with the direct involvement of the owner with the help of the manager and supervisor. These manager and supervisors are directly overseeing the work carried out by their subordinator. The communication flows vertically in such arrangement. For example, the owner will command the manager supervisor, who in turn will command the foreman 1, foreman 2 and foreman 3. This type of structure is easy to establish. There are one of the simplest to obtain the employee. In this structure, there is a unity to control. There is a strong sense of the discipline. Decision can be quickly taken and organization can be adjusted to changing needs in no time. बहुत easily जो है सब चीजें मैनेज की जा सकती हैं और ये बहुत इजीली समझ में भी आ जाता है कि इसके नीचे ये है, इसके नीचे ये है, इसके नीचे ये है, तो एक वर्टिकल मैनर में होता है। There are certain disadvantages like there is a lot of expectations from the person holding the authority. The efficiency of the structure is heavily depend on the person in the authority. The extraction of the work from the worker was entirely depend upon the ability of the key person. जो main person होता है उसी की ability पे depend करता है. The organization is rigid. The advice of the smart employee at the bottom of the hierarchy may got unheeded, as there is a no communication from an employee belonging to the lower hierarchy. जो नीचे के लोग होते हैं वो जो है जनरली समटाइम्स तरह के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सुन ही नहीं पाते नीचे के लोगों की बात में. Also, the top executive and the key man may be overloaded. जो single आदमी उसमें सारी responsibility ऊपर होती है. The structure suffers from the lack of specialized skill of the expert. So, and due to the long channel of the communication, top executive of the worker, they are a chance to delay in the message into order. So that is there. Next type of the organizational structure, that is the line and a staff structure. Is it there? Okay, yes, this is okay. So this line and a staff organization is basically, this is relatively bigger construction for the bigger construction that cannot for big type of the work that cannot be handled by the previous type of the structure. ठीक है, मिलिट्री स्ट्रक्चर से कभी बड़े प्रोजेक्ट जो है हैंडल नहीं हो पाते हैं. So there are many items when the need of the consult specialty is felt. So additional people and the staff responsibilities are required in the organization, and this will form a line and a staff type of a organization structure there. तो इसमें आप देखेंगे इसमें कहने का मतलब लाइन स्टाफ में चीफ प्रोजेक्ट इंजीनियर है, उसके अंडर में फंक्शनल स्टाफ में ये जो लोग हैं ये परमानेंट हैं, ये परमानेंट रहते हैं जनरली फंक्शनल स्टाफ. और लाइन स्टाफ जो होता है वो उसमें साइट के हिसाब से, जैसे कि किसी एक इंजीनियर के में अंडर में कई सारी साइट्स चल रही हो, साइट 1, साइट 2, साइट 3, साइट 4. सो ये लाइन स्टाफ के अंडर में रहेगा, जैसे कि इसमें लाइन 2 स्टाफ में दिखाया गया है. AEN AEN1, AEN2, AEN1 में JEN और JEN2 है, उसके बाद वर्किंग असिस्टेंट 1, वर्किंग असिस्टेंट 2 है. सिमिलरली साइट 2 में भी यही होगा, साइट 3 में भी यही होगा, और भी अगर साइट्स हैं तो वो इसी तरीके से होगा. ठीक है, ये सारे लोग जो हैं चीफ इंजीनियर को रिपोर्ट करेंगे. और ये जो फंक्शनल स्टाफ है ये एडिशनली जो है सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करेगा इन सारी साइट्स को. जो डिजाइन इंजीनियर होगा दैट कैन डिजाइन for site 1, site 2, site 3. Architect will draw the drawings for site 1, site 2, site 3. फाइनेंस मैनेजर जो है वो हर एक साइट का देखेगा. तो ये लाइन एंड स्टाफ टाइप का स्ट्रक्चर होता है. नाउ let us see the advantages of such type of organization. So in the line and the staff structure, line employees are responsible for the execution while the staff employees plays a advisable role, as I already told you. The line and the staff structure offers the ample opportunity for the growth of the employee. It also offers good training opportunity to the employees. The quality of the decision arrived at in a problem situation is high, as careful thought is given to arriving at that decision. Discipline all problem is also be solved. It is also providing the job opportunities because the large number of the peoples are involved in there. And स्पेशल जो स्पेशलाइज्ड लोग हैं वो काम करते हैं, तो क्वालिटी आउटपुट इज देयर. द प्रोजेक्ट कैन बी एग्जीक्यूटेड विद अ बेटर क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट. There are certain disadvantages, like there is a lack of the well-defined authority structure. The structure is suitable mostly for the large organization where there is a constant need of the employing people with the specialized skill. There is always a responsibility of the conflict arising out of the various reasons, which may prove to be the detrimental of the growth of the company. The distinction between the line function and staff function is difficult to make. The staff personnel do not have direct authority to enforce the decision. The lack of any section will affect the whole system. जैसे कि अगर हम स्टाफ सेक्शन में बात कर लें, अगर हमारे पास डिजाइन इंजीनियर नहीं है तो हमारी तीनों साइट्स का काम रुक जाएगा, अगर हमारे पास आर्किटेक्ट नहीं है तो ये वैसा हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो ये एक तरीके की डीमेरिट है, डिसएडवांटेजेस फॉर सच टाइप ऑफ द सिस्टम। आफ्टर दैट, next type of the organizational system, that is the functional organization. So this is the type of the organization where the whole work is divided in such a way that each person has to perform a minimum number of the function. All similar and relative work is grouped together under one person. However, a subsidiary or subordinate anywhere in the organization will command directly by a number of the superior officers who have the authority of their own area of the specialization. This organization permits the high discipline and control of the any organizational concept. So in functional organization basically इस टाइप ये इसमें क्या होता है कि जो functions होते हैं हर किसी के वो relate कर दिए जाते हैं एक दूसरे से, so जो एक दूसरे के ऊपर जो responsibilities हैं वो बढ़ जाती हैं। Advantages हैं कि it will help in doing the work as per specification. Mental work is separated from the manual work. Everyone is to maintain their own functional efficiency. The entire work is divided on the basis of the functional specialization. The work is properly planned and distributed. The work will be completed with a better quality due to the service and functional specialties. The work will not allow to use their skills. The worker will not allowed to use their skills. The system is too complicated. Coordination becomes more difficult to fix the responsibility. The worker will receive too many instructions simultaneously, क्योंकि एक आदमी कई लोगों से कंट्रोल होता है। इसके along with that there is another type of organization, एक और भी होता है, that is known as a departmental organization. तो डिपार्टमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या होता है कि कोई भी वर्क होता है, जैसे कि आप किसी कंस्ट्रक्शन फर्म के आप प्रेसिडेंट हो, तो आप अपने नीचे एक जनरल मैनेजर अपॉइंट करेंगे। देन दैट जनरल मैनेजर इज हैविंग the various department like the contract department, engineering department, planning department, material department and finance department. So every department have their own manager, और वो that manager is कंट्रोलिंग दैट थिंग। जैसे कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट डिपार्टमेंट के अंदर अगर है तो वहां पे हम एक मैनेजर अपॉइंट करेंगे, जो कि मैनेजर ये देखेगा कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किस तरीके से लिया गया है, क्या क्या उसके प्लान है, कैसे उसको प्रिपेयर किया जाए, ठीक है, कौन कौन सी टर्म्स कंडीशन इंक्लूड की जाए। सो दीज ऑल थिंग्स आर देयर। सिमिलरली अगर इफ देयर इज इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट, तो इन द इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट देयर आर द project manager, then after that there are the engineer like a civil engineer, mechanical and electrical engineers. So उनके नीचे फिर जेई होंगे। So हर एक डिपार्टमेंट उसमें फॉर्मुलेट कर दिया जाता है। So such type of the organization is known as a departmental organizational. So this is the type or the structure of the organization. Now let us see about the monitoring. So once any construction team is executing the work according to the project plan, the project manager must always be diligent in monitoring and tracking the work that is being performed, and this is done in order to ensure the team is working on the correct activities and ensure the team is on schedule and ensure the team is on budget. तो बेसिकली मॉनिटरिंग ये और मतलब हो रही है कि ये देखा जाए कि वर्क जो है प्रॉपरली हो रहा है, ऑन शेड्यूल है, बजट है के अकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है कि नहीं, क्वालिटी ऑफ द वर्क एक्सेप्टेबल है या नहीं है, बिकॉज ऑल द थिंग्स आर रिलेटेड टू द फाइनेंस एंड प्रोजेक्ट। तो प्रोजेक्ट जितना जल्दी खत्म होगा उतना ही कम टाइम में मतलब उतना ही कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव रहेगा. The monitoring project management step is done in a parallel to the other project process to ensure those activities are being done in order to meet the project requirement. Considering that the most of the project activities occurs during the execution phase, however, you should put most of your monitoring effort on this part of the project, especially मस्ट मॉनिटर. अब कौन कौन सी चीजें मस्ट मॉनिटर करने वाली हैं, जैसे कि शेड्यूल प्रोग्रेस. सो इन दैट what is being checked, that is what is the status of the activities, how the activities are progressing ahead, behind, or the on schedule, and if there any course correction is required, so that is being done there. Next, that is the must thing, that must be monitored, that is the budget, that how much budget is spent on that date, how much is remaining, and if there is any revision is required in the estimate or not. So, and after that, the third thing is the scope. Is your team working on the activities that are in the scope or out of the scope? Have any change occurred that will require the scope addition? So scope is basically ये है कि जो प्रोजेक्ट में हमारे जो टारगेट हैं, हम लोग वही काम कर रहे हैं नहीं, है ना. तो स्कोप इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एनी ऑफ द कंस्ट्रक्शन फर्म. जैसे कि अगर कहीं पे वाटर टैंक बनना है तो ठीक है, तो वाटर टैंक अगर बन रहा है तो ठीक है, जो जितना स्कोप जितना उसमें लिखा है. अब वाटर टैंक कहीं बन रहा है और बाद में ओनर आके कह देता है कि ठीक है, इसके आसपास पार्क भी बनेगा, ये भी होगा, वो भी होगा, so that is become out of the scope. So for that you have to revise the estimate and get the financial sanction for that one. Means the things are on the side, the things are executed as per the scope of the project. Okay, कोई भी out of the scope work नहीं वहां पे होता है. या फिर अगर वाटर टैंक बन रहा है तो ओनर आके कह रहा है कि इधर भी थोड़ा सा एक्सकेवेशन कर दो या ऐसा कर दो वैसा कर दो. दैट इज नॉट बीन डन ऑन द साइट. ओनली द वर्क which is related to that project, that is being executed on the site. So that is the important thing, and that must be monitored. So there are the additional things such as a key performance indicator that you must want to monitor throughout the project, but once mentioned above are the bare minimum. Is जो अभी तीन चीजें हमने बताई वो चीजें they are very important. It is very important to monitor the progress of the project to ensure that it does not get too far off your organizational plans. Once you we're away from the plans, it can be difficult to sometimes impossible to get things back on the track with the original plans. As the other aspect of the project, you must determine the frequency in which you are going to monitor. हाँ, monitoring की जो फ्रीक्वेंसी होती है ये भी एक फिक्स करना पड़ेगा कि हर मंथ में 2 बार होगा या एक मंथ में एक बार मॉनिटरिंग होगी. ठीक है, सो दैट कि एक इंटरवल के बाद प्रोग्रेस पता चलती रहे. ऐसा नहीं हो कि आपने प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हुआ तब मॉनिटरिंग कर ली एक बार और प्रोजेक्ट खत्म हो रहा है, तो इस बीच में प्रोसेस में अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ होगा तो आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा और आपको लॉस होगा. तो मॉनिटरिंग इज रियली an ongoing activity. However, you have to strike and balance between how much time you spend tracking activities and the value of the effort. तो जनरली आजकल जो बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं उसमें मॉनिटरिंग जो है वो किसी बाहर के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के आदमी को दे दिया जाता है. तो दिस इज ऑल फॉर टुडे. बाकी अपडेटिंग जो है और जो रिलेवेंट टॉपिक्स हैं वो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. ओके, नाउ इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क.